ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ दीनो दुनिया धर कमंदे या परी रुखसार माँ हर दो आलम कीमते यक तार मुहे यार माँ हवाई बंदगी अबुर दार वजूद मरा वगरना ज़ौके चुनिया आमद नमूद मरा ना साजो न बाजो न फौजो न फर्श खुदावंद बख्शन दे ऐशर। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। Illusions of life. Today we will visit the thought process of illusion. What in mythology is often referred to as Maya. What is Maya? What is illusion? There's a traditional word called Mrg Trishna, the deer's illusion. When the deer in the desert sees water where there is no water. Effectively, illusion means something which we are seeing which is not there, which is not really a reality. Something we are being fooled by. That is what is an illusion. The story of how a sadhu says there is illusion. Everything is an illusion, everything is Maya. And his friend picks up a stick and hits him hard on his back. And when he's hurt, he cries out in pain. The friend says, if it's all an illusion, then what is the pain for? These are two realities, two different planes. We live one of them where we feel the pain. But we don't know what is the illusion of life. When Guru Sahib is addressing the state of creation, he uses some words like supna, dream, brahm, which is not a reality, tukha, befooling ourselves. If all that is true, then how and why and what are we doing about life? If there is a bill to pay tomorrow, I don't pay it. I think it's an illusion. Why should I pay it? If there is no reality, why should I live it? This is the deeper question. Is life an illusion? What is death? It is to do everything to do with how we perceive. In the Greek mythology, they call everything as a perception. He says man is the measure of all things. Everything is measured, known, quantified, understood through the human being. So the human being is the perceptive tool through which we look, the prism glass through which you look at life. We know life. But what is life? If it is all an illusion, then what are we doing? If it is not an illusion, then what are we doing? ज्यों सुफना और पेखना तैसे जग को जान इनमें कछ साचो नहीं नानक बिन भगवान. Guru Tegh Bahadur says it's all a dream. You are living a dreams in your sleep. This whole life is like a dream. Then what is the waking up state? Who am I? We need to visit the reality of I, the identity of I. Our entire life pattern. If we write down everything on a piece of paper, how am I defined by? My name, my body, my house, my family, my work, my wealth. These are the things we say, the knowledge I have, the friends I have. This is what we use to define life. And when we look at death, we avoid everything. We don't address the issue of death. The cremation grounds are made in such a way that we don't visit them every day. We don't see death. The walls are so high, we don't see what's happening inside. We hide ourselves from death because we don't have a logical answer to death. The Greeks had a logical answer to death. The Greeks are the ones who invented logos, the logic. They are the ones who created the perception of how to evolve in thought. And the entire West is today working on logic, which is created by the Greeks. They had a view and vision of death. They knew that life is not permanent. In fact, in the Roman tradition, whenever the Caesar went in his chariot, there was a person in the chariot whispering in Caesar's ears, life is not permanent. When he's visiting and seeing the power he holds, someone is whispering in his ears, life is not permanent. Then what is life? What do we know about life? What do we know about the structure of life? And what is the illusion? What are we seeing which is not really there? We are in a journey. Everything we see, know, is what we are feeling. Through our senses, we live through life. And while living through life, we feel and know life as it is. I have this family. Is that an illusion? Or is that a reality? That seems to be a reality in certain specific frames of life. At a certain point, a certain time frame, certain space, that may be a reality. But one hidden aspect of life is that everything in life changes. Today's moment doesn't hold tomorrow. Tomorrow is a new moment. And what we perceive as our reality today changes tomorrow. What is new today is old tomorrow. What is old tomorrow is gone day after. So the whole paradigm of life is changing. It is built on the foundation of change. So one moment changes into the other. If one moment changes into the other, then every moment is a different life. It's a different reality. And unless we are focused on something which doesn't change, everything is only change. Our families will change. Our relationships will change. Our wealth will change. Everything will change. Pir Dastagir asked Guru Nanak Sahib 3 questions when he visited Baghdad. He says, what is there before God? Where does God live and what does He do? Maharaj says there was nothing before God. And He lives in His own creation. And God changes everything, keeps everything in flux. Somebody is rich today will be poor tomorrow. Somebody who is high today, in a high pedestal, socially high status, will not be the same tomorrow. Everything is built on change, and that is the creation, the concept of creation. The canvas of creation is not the same. So my illusion is built on this concept that this is my family. But it may not be true tomorrow. This is my family today, at this moment, at this place, in this situation. But when the canvas of life changes, my family also changes. For different varied reasons. Somebody departs, somebody comes, somebody gets married. My family is constantly changing. Even if nobody is changing, the individuals in family are changing. So even then the family is different. Maharaj says, like a dream. We are all living this dream, but this is a necessary dream. Then what is the whole idea of life? Par panch par brahm ki leela. He says this is a game which the creator is playing. Leela. This whole feeling of life is all a game the creator is playing. This I is a momentary illusion. It's a momentary existence we have when we've separated from the water. The droplet is separated, but it is still the water. And that creates an illusion of I. But that I is not permanent. We have this debate on life. What is the reincarnation? What is the flow of the spirit? Where is the Atma? Maharaj says, Kardar, फिर थाकी बहुत तेरे, जात असंख अंत नहीं मेरे. So many house I am wandering and I am tired. My soul is tired in this wandering of life. Jat asank, so many forms I have lived, asank, infinite. Ant nahi mere, no counting how many different ways I have come in this existence again and again. But there is always a different form, different me. This is what the perception of ego is. Ego is not a permanent reality, but a temporary visiting card. Like we go into a theater, we get a ticket. That ticket is our reality for that seat. We exist in that theater because we have that ticket and that place we have found. But when the session is over, the ticket is gone and everything is gone. That was a temporary existence we got. When we walk into something, any experience, everything is only change. But I think it becomes permanent for us. We get onto a train and we get off the train. That train is our temporary reality. In fact, one of the sadhus have mentioned this, that we are all like different trains come together in the platform. We meet on the railway station and then we go our own ways. Maharaj talks about this reincarnation, that the soul wanders through many lifetimes, many families. Kete maat pita sut tiyan, kete gur chele fun hua. So many parents, maat pita sut, sons and daughters we have had. So we are holding on to this lifetime, and this becomes our reality for now. But it's not forever. This is not. Once this ego is gone, where will this family go? What will happen to this family? Maharaj has raised this issue in the Zafarnama. He says, Kuja, why, where, how? Kuja means where. Where is your family? Where is Humayun? Where are they all? And where have they gone? What is it that has happened to them? They are your family. You are the Mughals. Where are the Mughals now? Kuja Shah Taimur Babar Kujast. Humayun Kuja Shah Akbar Kujast. Kuja, where are they? If they were real kings forever, where will they go? But that is the truth about reality. Even the kings are not permanent here. को हर समान नहीं राजा, ए भूपत सब दिवस चार के. These power centers of life which we see today are for some time, दिवस चार के, 4 days, 4 months, 4 years, 40 years. That is their reality. This whole structure of life is not permanent. So what is the reality of life? What is permanent in life? If this is an illusion, should I avoid living this life? An interesting parable says, live the illusion so completely that you never forget it's an illusion. Don't get fooled by it. Live it, but don't get fooled by it. Guru Sahib in the Discourse says, जैसे जल में कमल निरालम मुर्गाई ने साने, सुरत शब्द पवसागर तरिए नानक नाम वखाने. Like the lotus in water, the bird in a pond, they don't drown in the water. Like that you live in this life. The water is life, live in it, but yet don't get soiled by it. Be free of it. He says, Viche Maya Paya. We have found life through Maya. Maya is the illusion, but it is a necessary illusion. जैसे अगन उदर में तैसी बाहर माया. Guru Amar Das talks about how we are born. He says, like there is heat in the womb, preserving us, sustaining us, energizing us. And that is why we exist and take birth. Similarly, there is Maya in the world. If this Maya is gone, then there is only one creator, nothing else. So the Maya is the illusion in which we live. And while we live this illusion, there is also a reality of the physical sense. Somebody hits you with a crowbar. It's not an illusion. In the physical sense, it's a reality. In the spiritual sense, it's not. So these are different planes of life. And we often have this habit of confusing these planes. Maya se, Guru Sahib says, live chutki lagi trishna, Maya amar vartaya. We live in this illusion of Maya, and that is why life is. And if we equate Maya to the ego, to the temporary creation of the I, which is like an illusion, not a reality. Heraclitus says man can never enter the same river twice, for it's a changing river and a changing man. There's so much change in life, nothing is the same. I'm not entering the same river. It's a different river. It's flown away. There's a new river now. Every moment is a new life. Maharaj has called this an illusion and a necessary illusion. He says, where does ego come from? Kit kit bid Jakub je purkha, kit kit dukh binas jai. How does the world come about, and how does my pain go away? Home vich Jakub je purkha. Because of the creation of the temporary ego, the separation from the creator, the ego is formed. The jag, the creation is there. Otherwise there is no creation. Then there is only one creator. Sab Gobind hai. Sab Gobind hai. Gobind bin nahi koi. If that is my perception, then I don't need to live the physical life. But the physical life has its own reality, while the spiritual has its own. They are two connected. I can live in the physical plane while being awakened spiritually. Home kit thopje, kit sanjama jai. Where does the ego come about, and how does it go away? Maharaj says, home eh hukum hai, paye kirt firaye. Home is the Creator's order. And this is why everything is moving. Paiye kirt phirai. Everybody is working, doing their own kirt, their actions, earnings. Hame dhirag rog hai daru bismai. By not going beyond the ego, we are diseased. We have a disease. Suppose I have the ability to live the ego in its temporary form, in the way it is, and yet go beyond it. Suppose I have both these aspects. Then Guru says halat palat, here and the beyond, both have been equated and both are my energy centers of life. Then I know both of them. Bhagat Namdev in one of his Shabad says, Mithya Pramar Sopan Manorat. Mithya, falsehood, Pram, doubt, or Sopan Manorat, and also dream. And he says, Sat Padarat Janya. While we live this, we know there is a truth somewhere. Satnam, where is that truth? This illusion falls into place. This becomes our reality for now. We know this is an illusion. But if we are awake and we know we are living an illusion, then we are not cheated by it. Live it and don't get cheated by it. Live its aspects and know that this is not permanent. And here is the other form then of how we look at it. This is how we connect to the moving mind. The ego is the moving mind, the thought mind. And when we know what is thoughtlessness, then we actually see. Then the ego doesn't see. The man in its non-ego state sees. When we go beyond the ego state, then we go into the real life. So when Maharaj talks about life, he says life is an opportunity. Pahi prapat manuk de huriya. Gobind milan ki hai teri bariya. And these such opportunities we have lost many times. Come and gone, come and gone. That is why he says, Kartar fir thaki bhak tere. Jata sankant nahi mere. So many houses, so many places, dars. I am wandering constantly. And what does this wandering entail? What is the form in which this illusion of life becomes a reality? What am I doing here? The ego is trying to find happiness. We are all searching for happiness, and we try and do everything to keep everything happy. We try and keep our family happy, our environment happy, ourselves happy. We try and seek happiness here. And we do get happiness. But it comes with, it's a dual world. Doi kudrat sajiye. The kudrat is formed in duality. Karasan detto chao. In that sits the Creator Himself. But it is built on duality. So when we have one aspect of life we live, the other is also there. Pain and joy will live together. So we can't experience joy in totality. Nothing in this life is a total experience. A meeting is temporary. A winning has a loss built into it. There's a race of 5 people. One of them wins. But how does he win? Because there are other 4 who lose. So loss and victory come together. If nobody else runs that race, who will win? Then there is no victor. So somebody needs to lose for the other to win. What is the victory of life? This is all an illusion. I have a lot of money. I have a lot of wealth, a lot of power. Till as long as I live. Till as long as this body is. And how permanent is the body? How real is this life span? If we look at life like that, we will see that death is a bigger reality than life, because it defines everything. Where is my family? In death it's gone. Where is my victory? Where is my wealth? Where is my knowledge? Where is everything? So life is a perception of illusion and a reality along with it. The irony is we don't know the reality. We only know the illusion. And so we have to make the illusion permanent. If I assume that this life is an illusion, then I have to know what is reality. If I don't know what is reality, how will life be an illusion? When I know life's reality, then I can say that life is an illusion. But if I don't know that part of life which is not an illusion, then I cannot say that this is an illusion. Then this is the only reality I have. This is the only knowledge of life we all have. And then how can I call it illusion? I don't know anything else. Guru says the mind has one aspect to it which is more permanent than the other. But we only live the moving mind, the thought mind. We only visit the non-moving mind temporarily in our sleep, in Sukhopat Avastha. Jagrat Supan Sukhopat Turiya. When I am awake, Supan in my dream, random, where my actions are happening in my dream, and Sukhopat when there is no thought in dream. That is the only time when I know thoughtlessness. But I know it in unconscious state. I don't know it conscious state. Suppose I knew it in conscious state. That is the irony of life for us, because we live through our man and we don't know what is the man. We don't even know what is the reality of our thoughts. When someone says, I sit in Simran, but I cannot, there's too many thoughts. Then what are these thoughts? Where are they coming from? If only we search that. If only we search where are the thoughts and who is the thinker. I don't get involved in the thoughts. The thoughts will go away. In my sleep, in my slumber, in my ignorance, in my illusion, I energize the thoughts and I get controlled by them. I am the one who's energizing thought and I get controlled by them. So I think life is all real, family is real, everything is real, and in some ways it is real. But it is built on a very unreal, changing, unstable, transient, temporary platform. At any time in life, anything can change. We see these things every day. Facebook is full of people who come and post the passing away of their loved ones. And then everybody writes, rest in peace, and that is all. It's over for us. Where is the peace? Where is the rest? In thoughts there is no peace. In thoughts there is no rest. It's a constant movement. Kar tar fir thaki bahut tere, jata sankant nahi mere. Maharaj says that you are looking at victory and loss. by the physical reality of life. That is how we see life. Somebody wins, somebody loses. We say, this person lost, this person won. Look at the Zafarnama. Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj has lost the battle, lost his place. He has his children who are gone. Many of his beloved Sikhs are gone. He doesn't have any money with him. He reaches this small village place called Dine Kangad. And there on the first floor of a house of one of his Barad Sikhs, he writes this letter. And the heading of that letter is Zafarnama. Letter of victory. Somebody who lost everything says that I have won. How can this fit into the logic? We only know the physical part of life, the losing and winning of life in the physical sense. We don't know what is the winning and losing in absolute sense. Any victory in this world, any ownership in this world, any relationship in this world, any wealth in this world will all be gone. At death, everything is redefined. Nothing is the same. Then how am I an owner of anything which can be taken away from me at any time? Am I the owner? Can I be the owner of a situation where everything is changing all the time? And the wealth I have can be taken away at any time without my control. When we are the owner of something, then we do have control over it. We know nobody can take it from us. We use it at our will. And it is with us. And it is for our freedom to use it the way we want. But that's not how it happens. A wealth which can be taken away at any time. A house which we have to lose and go from at any moment. A relationship which has to separate at any time. बाड़े बूढ़े तरने तैया सब जमला जाइए रे मानस बपरा मूसा कीनो मीच बुलैया खाइए रे धनवंता और निर्धन मन ही the rich and the poor are the same in death. He doesn't separate between rich, poor, Raja, Parja, sam kar mare. The king and the beggar and the king's subjects, they are both the same at death. ऐसो काल बढ़ा नहीं रहे. Nothing is left unleveled. Nothing is left which is not gone. It's all gone. The ego is, in this conditioned state, is completely over, gone. Then where does it go? What happens? What happens to the man when it has died? That's the reality, That's our reality. And we don't know that reality. When I detach myself from everything I know about life, suppose I write down on a piece of paper everything which I have in life, my relationships, my money, my knowledge, my awareness, everything, I write it down. And then I, one by one, take it away. One by one, I scratch them out. Like a car is assembled, the steering wheel, the hood cap, the body, the parts, the seats, everything is assembled. Which is the car? It's the assembly. It's not a one part. So if I take away every one part of my life, then what remains? And all these things I take away are actually going to go. This is the illusion. I think they are not going to go. Jo chadna, so thir karmana. what I have to leave, I think I will live with forever. The moment I think I don't have to leave them, and I have to wake up to the reality that there is something else in life, beyond these things, beyond what is my defined life, beyond the conditioned mind, there is some other thing. What is that thing? I don't know. So then how I can say life is an illusion until I know its reality? How? You can't say it. If you say it, it's false. It's not true. Those who have known it, those who have seen it, they go beyond having body as their foundation of life. That is what makes them powerful. If you take at Bhai Mani Singh, if you look at Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Maharaj, the Sikhs who came, who didn't fear death, because they had another foundation of life. They had an awareness of the complete reality of life, that which doesn't change, that which can't be taken away. The body can be taken away, but that part of life will not go. So isn't that more real than this body? What can be taken away is not as real as what cannot be taken away. And suppose I have left everything. I leave in my thought. For a minute I leave my relationships, I leave my ownership, I leave my identity. I have left it all. And once I've left it, where am I? What am I? This is samadhi, where I have had a state of being, where I am independent of all the factors of life which are going to go away at death. If I lived them, actually lived them, lived that part of life which is devoid of these aspects, my body, my relation, my house, my identity, everything is gone. For a split second, it's gone. And I have seen that there is another reality. Everything goes away, but I don't go away. I'm still there. This is an awakening of life. This is the real power of life. Even for a minute, even for a split second, if I have lived that portion of life where there is nothing in the physical, there are no senses, and yet I have experienced that I am, that means I live beyond this changing world. This is samadhi. This is the real experience. And this Guru gives us, where I go beyond the ego. Because the whole experience of life comes through the ego. I am, so I live life. If I have dropped my ego, if I have dropped my thought, if I have dropped my moving mind, then I have dropped that aspect which I think is permanent. I have assumed to be permanent, which is my illusion. I am assuming something to be permanent which is not permanent. Then for that minute I will see something which is permanent. Guru says, Jan Nanak bin Apa Cheen mein, mite na param ki ikai. Without knowing the real self, Apa Cheen, without knowing awareness of what is within, the deceit will not go away, the pram will not go away. It will go away only when we have seen that reality. It will go away only when we have known that part of our lives which never changes. That part of our life which cannot be taken away from us, where there is no death, where there is nothing which is dying. Guru says this is the real life. So if I leave everything which is changing, and the most intense part of life which changes for us is our search for happiness. Maharaj says, Jo nar dukh mein dukh na mane, sukh sne aur peh nahi jaake, kanchan mati mane. The most intense search we all have, is for happiness. He says, give away the search. In pain, don't be in pain. So my identity changes. I don't live in this paradigm of sukh and dukh all the time, which is what we always do. What do? We always do this. We live in the search for happiness, and when we feel pain, we cry out in pain and say, why am I unhappy? I don't deserve to be unhappy. This is what we constantly play this game in life. And we keep wandering in this again and again, our search for happiness. Maharaj says, Surnar Munjan Amrit khoj de, so Amrit gurte paya. Jis jal nid karan tum jagaye. You are searching for something. Have we been able to transcend our thought mind? Have we got the ability to stabilize our mind, to search our mind for that part of the mind which doesn't change? And where is that part of the mind? And how and what are the ingredients to find that part? How can I experience the unchanging part of my mind? This is the key to going beyond the illusion, because only then will I see that this life is an illusion, when I have lived that man where there is no illusion. When I have known there is a part of me which never changes. And then there are other aspects to that man. There he says the happiness which we are searching for is unconditionally available. It's the state of creation. Anand paya meri maaye Satguru mein paya. So a state of being where I get something which I'm looking for unconditionally. How do I do this? Maharaj says the first thing is to search for it, to call for it, to pray for it, to ask for it. Bande khoj de la roz, search. Ved kate viftira pai, dil ka fikr na jaye. The worry, the pain will not go away living in the ego state. Till as long as we wander the ego state, we will always encounter pain, sorrow, unhappiness. Because the reality of life is that sorrow and happiness live together. There is death because there is life. If there is no one living, nobody dies. And if this person who is living has gone beyond that experience of life where nothing in life is with him, nothing which is with the normal person called life is detached from him, then he has lived the experience of death while living. In Guru Granth Sahib it is called Mar Jivda, one who dies while living. Giving up the moving mind, man beche Satgur ke paas, giving up the ego mind. And what does it do? And those who know this state, they just sit and go there. Suneya maneya man kita pao, antargat tirath malnao. They just go into the tirath of the man. There is a celebration happening in their mind all the time. They just detach themselves from the world and they are in that state. That is the real state, because it cannot be taken away from you. ज्यों-ज्यों सैल करे त्यों-त्यों सैल करे ज्यों पावे, महरम महर न को अटकावे। तेरी बख्श न मेटे कोई, सतगुर का दिलासा। The bakshish, the anand, the permanence, the non-worry state, the egoless state cannot be taken away from us. Guru guarantees that. Then he says, now mare na ठगे जाए जिनके राम बसे मन माए. One who has achieved the state of mind, they don't lose ever. They always win. Victory for them is defined separately. The king will have victory in the battlefield, but he will lose in life, like Alexander. Such as victories and loss in life, they are just temporary experiences of part of life. There is no permanence in them. And in that way, no reality. Who lives the reality of life? One who goes beyond the man which is changing. Chalte man rakhe, amrit chakhe. थिर कर बैसो हर जन प्यारे, सतगुर तुमरे काज सवारे. Two things which are necessary to experience that part of life which is not an illusion is a stable mind and the knowledge of the Guru. Jat pahara teeraj sunyar, ehran mat ved hatyar. Giving away jat, detaching from the senses world, detaching ourselves from the moving mind. Teeraj, patient, being patient. Ehran mat, stable mind. Ved hatyar, the tool of the Shabad. When Shabad meets a stable mind, then Guru meets the Sikh. A Guru and Sikh's meeting takes place in the Man with the Shabad and Surat. Guru Maharaj calls it Shabad Guru Surat Tunchela. And this experience takes us beyond life, takes us beyond death, takes us beyond the changing world. The Siddhs had this whole discussion with Guru Sahib, and they explained to him how they were wandering going to many places of pilgrimage, eating the basics of life, and in that way being free and having a good experience of life. That we are in joy, ecstatic. Maharaj says, what is the state of your mind? That's critical. Like Erdine Gangad Guru Sahib has written to Aurangzeb and said, this is the letter of victory. From someone whose wealth you've taken away, he's writing a letter of victory to you. Because life's victory and loss is not decided in the physical world, it's decided in the Man. Man jeete jag jeet. If you are not going to live, then which victory are you going to have? If you are going to die with your body, then who will carry that victory? Maharaj says, being gardishe bevafai zama, barhar baguzard makino maka. See, the life is deceitful. that as time goes by, the house and the one who lives in that house both are gone. Nothing is permanent. And only that person knows real joy, and knows real happiness, knows real anand, whose happiness is unconditional. Na saazo, na bazo, na fauzo, na farsh. Khudawand bakshan de hue asharsh. And that is why, even if you have taken away everything from me, Maharaj says, my happiness is not gone. My anand is not gone. It's a permanent state of being. And you live that experience while you are in the body, not when you have died. Not while you have departed, you will find this anand. You find it while you live. That's the only way you can find it. Maran mukut kin pai. The freedom of life is only when we have found unconditional happiness within ourselves. That's the only freedom. Otherwise, everything is binding. Every karam is binding. Every action is binding. And it binds us to the physical world again and again and again. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj wrote Letter of Victory. Aurangzeb is where? Kuja Shah Taimur Babar Kujast. Humayun Kuja Shah Akbar Kujast. Where are they? Kuja Aurangzeb. Where is Aurangzeb today? Where? But the sadhu can be seen, can be known forever. He is present in the creation. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj can be experienced right here, right now, if we have that ability. He's gone nowhere. He's everywhere. Achal. He doesn't need to walk. He's everywhere. He doesn't need to travel. Tukdam karari jo karo hazir huzur Khudaye. This is our illusion. The reality of life is the anand of life. One who has lived it, known it, experienced it, only that person knows that life is an illusion. So we have to work with our man. Shabad Guru Surt Tunchela. We have to go beyond this moving mind to the Shabad. Shabad is the permanent reality of life. That is the Guru Maharaj. That is the experience which transcends death for us. How do we go about it? गाविए सुनिए मन रखिए पाओ दुख पर हर सुख कर ले जाए. This is our inner meditation on Shabad. बिन नामे मन टेक न टिके ही नानक भूख न जाए. Guru tells the yogis, without naam, where love and happiness are built together and takes us beyond the ego mind, beyond the moving mind, mind will not be stable. And the hunger of life will not go away. This is our illusion. This is our loss. That we don't know this experience. And our time and opportunity, Pai Prapat Manukh De Huriya, Gobind Milan ki hai teri bariya. Avar kaaj tere kite na kaam. Mil saad sangat paj keval naam. The questions which Gobind Preet Kaur is asking. Why do we get stuck in this illusionary world? Because we don't have the ability to detach from our thought. Because every experience we have, we make it outward experience, not inward. We don't know how to stabilize our mind. How does one become egoless? Gaviye suniye man rakhiye pao. Find the love within our man and sing the Shabad with dhyan. Munda santok sarampat choli. Dhyan ki karo vibhut. Khimtha kaal kuari kaya. Jugat danda partit. This is the method. With santok, stability, with effort, sarampat choli. Dhyan ki karo vibhut. With dhyan in our man. Dhyan means egoless, thoughtless mind. Khimtha kaal kuari kaya. Guided by the death around us. Having a body which is not polluted by substance. Jugat danda prati. The method is Shabad. How much of Shabad we have internalized in our life is the way forward for us all. But something which we all do is we make life's experience outward. We don't keep quiet. We talk too much. We take it all outwards. You go to a party, everybody is an expert in life without knowing anything. Because we have very strong egos. We want to reinforce our illusion. And the more we reinforce the illusion, the more painful it will be. Because ultimately we have to leave it. Today's session is on illusion. If you have any questions, we went through some which Gobindpreet Kaur has posted. If any of you have any questions, please post them. We can address them. Otherwise, we will then move towards Anand Sahib. So no questions. Can someone volunteer for Anand Sahib? Ranjit Kaur ji, can you?
Waheguru Ji.
1 minute, one question has come. No. Anand stays permanent if the stable mind is found, unchanging mind is found. No thought mind, like your thoughts are so randomly moving, so you're distracted all the time. When the mind is not moving, then only Anand becomes permanent. Anand is an awareness of a mind which never changes. Hanji Ranjit Kaur ji, thank you. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh.